This one's Mo, and this one's Larry.
All right, and what are you up to right now?
I'm just walking them, kind of calming them down, giving them something to do. It teaches you a lot of responsibility because you got to feed them every night, you got to walk them. Teaches you patience.
I'm Brian Sapp, and this is Going Local, where we bring you stories about people impacting and changing your community. Today we're at the Elkhart County 4-H Fair. This video is sponsored by the Goshen News, so be sure to check them out online and in print for their fair coverage. Links will be in the description for their Facebook page and their website. I'm here at the fair to find out more about 4-H, how it ties together with all the activities that happen here.
4-H, everybody always thinks of the fair, and 4-H really truly is a youth development program. It is one of those things that the fair we really call our showcase. So our 4-H Fair Board gives us a phenomenal showcase for 4-Hers to display their projects, put their animals on display, and show off the hard work they've earned.
Steel Graybar and Robert Kelly both work for the Purdue Extension service here in Elkhart County, but one of their main goals is to make sure that the 4-H program here runs smoothly.
Well, the fair is our Super Bowl, but there's all the practice and there's a lot of other things that go on before we get here. That we're a year-round program, so there's club meetings, there's trips, there's all sorts of events like fashion review, performing arts contests, public speaking demonstration contests.
Graybar and Kelly say it doesn't matter where you live, you can still be in 4-H.
Definitely not the case. We have kids that live in the city, we have kids that live in downtown Elkhart, downtown Goshen, we have kids that live out in the middle of Benton Township. We have kids from all over our county that get involved.
We have over 70 projects in our county, and that's including livestock ones. We've also added some new ones, like we have last year we started a remote control car Spark Club. So the variety of things you could do, there's something for everybody, from livestock to electronics to computers to sewing to photography. What you said about it, you're thinking that 4-H is just for farm kids or kids that are out in the country or whatever. That's certainly our background, and we're certainly proud of that. But we've always been a program that's trying to equip youth for the skills they need in the future. And in the future, we need to start working on teaching STEM-related programming, and we've moved that way the last couple of years.
Megan Kelly. I show swine and dairy cows and sheep. We water them, we feed them, make sure they have clean sawdust so they don't get sick, and make sure they have fresh water. Being in 4-H taught me how to take responsibility in myself and responsibility for my animals.
Do you think 4-H is just for farm kids or for everybody?
I think it's for everybody. Everyone can have the advantage to have responsibility in the farm, and also advantage to have something that, if you don't live on a farm, you still can have the advantage to learn things.
It's for everybody. And there's kids here that'll buy their lambs and they'll keep it at their breeder's house, but they'll walk them, take care of them, and then when fair comes, they'll bring them in, they'll show them. So it's not just for farm kids, which is everyone should do it because it's very fun to do.
And if you want to see what they mean about 4-H being for everybody, just come into the exhibit building. There's hundreds of projects here in over dozens of categories, including electricity. And don't worry if you want to be involved in livestock, because you have clubs like the Llama Club and the other livestock clubs have opportunities where you can still work with animals even if you don't have a farm.
The Llama Club is basically a club for kids who don't have farm animals. They can come out and work with their llama at the farm every Monday. One of my favorite memories was my first year working with people and having people help me learn how to show a llama and work with a llama. I didn't know how to before.
We go to Margot Unziger's farm every Monday and we train the llamas in classes like showmanship and costume and performance, stuff like that. We get here in the morning, every morning, and we feed the llamas with the leaders, and we also at the farm will scoop poop for the farm hands that are there. So we definitely do some of the farm stuff, just not as much as we would if we actually lived on the farm with them.
I've definitely learned how to balance my schedule a lot, because being in it every week, it's quite a commitment. You have to kind of move your schedule around because you can't just miss meetings. You have to be there because this is the only time that you get to train these llamas.
I think it's for everybody. There's something here for everybody. You can find your whatever you want to do. You can show chickens. I know some people in neighborhoods that have rabbits. Obviously llamas, you don't have to own a farm. You can do projects.
There's a guinea pig club.
Yeah, there's a guinea pig club.
So
And a cat club and a dog
yeah,
club
yeah.
and then the projects in the barns.
yeah,
So.
then there's just like clubs for like community service.
I'm here in the exhibit building. I was here earlier this week, but now I've come back to talk to my friend Suzanne. My family is in the club, 4-H Club City Farmers, that she is involved in. It is up in Elkhart, based out of Marybeck, right?
Yep.
And so it's a bunch of us city folk in the club learning about 4-H. And so to me, that's been the fascinating thing is when I was growing up, 4-H always only seemed like a farm thing. Is it a farm thing?
No,
I mean, and
not
how does
at
that
all.
tie in with your experience? I mean, why are you trying to do this?
Well, I mean, I was in 4-H for 10 years when I was a kid, and you know the bug gets you, so you know you can't help but want to be involved again. But with my work as a teacher at Marybeck, I wanted to give those kids who aren't farm kids an opportunity to be in 4-H and experience that too. There's so many projects that are available for kids that don't have to do with animals. So, you know, being able to show kids a different way is what I guess was important for me. So,
What have you seen the kids gain from being involved, like your kids there at Marybeck and even my family? I mean, what have you seen the kids gain from being involved in 4-H?
well, I think the one big thing for me that I've seen when I was a kid as well as now is the responsibility factor and completing what you start. You know, we have meetings starting in October and we go all the way through until August, and that's a lot. I mean, once a month, that's a lot of time. Plus, you've got your projects and activities that we do with our community service and different things. So you're showing responsibility for your community, and you're also showing responsibility for what you're completing and taking some pride in that. And for kids that maybe don't get to have that opportunity, it's really neat to see them kind of blossom with understanding that.
Well, I have to say, my son has a electric project in here, and it didn't go great, but he struggled, but then he learned, and he like wired a 3-way switch fan. And so it's really cool.
It is cool.
Seeing what they're able to
Yeah.
do. And any words to those people who think that 4-H is a farm thing? No, it's for anybody.
It's for anybody. I mean, there's things, if you can cook, you can be in 4-H. If you don't know how to cook, you can be in 4-H. You'll learn. Any kind of opportunity, any project, there's so much stuff available for kids. Just get involved. That's my words of encouragement. It's just get involved, because you never know what you're going to find.
Okay, and I could have put Suzanne in my last video about volunteers because she's been here all week.
Yep.
She's like a lot of these 4-H leaders that just give so much of their time. So really thank you for what you do, and thanks for talking to us.
No problem.
This is Saira. We were just talking about her art there. It's a drawing of a wolf. Here's a picture. Saira, you are in City Farmers. Can you tell me, how long have you been in City Farmers?
I believe I've been in City Farmers for about 5 years, 6 years, something like that.
Okay, and what are some of the projects that you've done that you remember?
I've done drawing, plastic bottle, flowers, chip bags, and I did a purse out of all those things.
Wow, cool, purse. So I would not be able to make that. I'd be able to draw stick figures compared to this art here, and mine would be like I'd take some baggies and staple them. So I'm really impressed with your work. You live in Elkhart.
Mm-hmm.
You're nowhere near a farm, right?
Nowhere near a farm.
But you're still in 4-H.
Yeah.
How is that? What do you think about the opportunities you've had? What have you learned?
I think it's really neat because I can show people my work, what I can do, and we could see what other kids can do, and not just farm kids, but like a whole city, or in this case, state, because there's also state fairs.
Okay, and what have you learned through your projects, do you think?
That you can improve a lot. Every year you do something different. You could see how you grow each year and what potentials you have.
So is there anything you would say to maybe a kid who's like thinking about, I want something to do? Would you suggest being in 4-H, and why?
Yeah, because it's really fun. You can meet with your people every month or everyone you can, and talk about your projects. If you need help, they're going to help you come up with ideas. It's really fun meeting up.
Okay, great. Well, congratulations. You got a blue ribbon. Awesome. So congratulations.
Thank you.
You got 2 more years. You're a junior. So,
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Now, while 4-H does have its roots in the farm, it has grown to include many more experiences for kids beyond that. Just from my own personal experience, my kids have learned electricity, art, and many other activities. And as you've heard from the other kids that are involved, it's just a great way for them to learn responsibility, how to interact with each other, and as Robert said, public speaking skills. So take a chance, look into it, and see if maybe 4-H might be for you. That's it for this episode of Going Local. Again, this episode was sponsored by the Goshen News. Their links are in the description below, and check them out in print for their special fair coverage. And be sure to like and subscribe to our page so that you can continue to go local with us and keep hearing stories about people in your community making an impact and changing lives.